again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a transfer special. 2 players in the door at Portman Road today. We're hearing business done, but of course, until the window slams itself shut at 11 p.m., you never truly know. But we're here to discuss the 2 incomings and the window as a whole. How has it gone? We'll start obviously with the 2 in the door. Ahadme from Burton for an undisclosed fee, a centre forward, and Kamara, believed to be for $500,000 from Plymouth, a box-to-box attacking midfield player. What does that mean to the options? What does that mean to the squad? Does it improve it, or does it not? Let's grab everyone's thoughts. As always, it's a live show, so there's a live chat, and of course, there's a live link to get involved and have your say. I will drop that link in just a moment. I can see the absolute excitement coming through the chat. For example, Ben Jackson, in my opinion, these signings could make the difference. Ahadme had 4 goals in the last 2 games for a struggling Burton team, and Kamara, the box-to-box midfield player we're missing. Mike D's taking the dogs to the vet. I hope the dog is okay, Mike. All the best for you and the little one. Stephen Parry, I think we're done. Don't think who else is needed. McKenna said 1 or 2. We get 2. We are done. Stuart, after the last 20 years, I expected a quiet one this time around. How many is that in and out the door this year? Must be going on 20 again. Joining me, first of all, is rap star Lewis Robertson. Lewis, how are you, my friend? Welcome in.
Evening. Happy deadline day. All good.
Happy deadline day. He's wearing the gold tie and the Motherwell shirt behind. This is a man that keeps it on point, on gimmick. But we've left it to the last minute, but we've made 2 signings, Lewis.
Yeah, exciting times and good additions as well. I was at Burton a couple of weeks ago. Ahadme stood out. He put us under a lot of pressure, and we had a tough, particularly first half. We struggled to get to grips with it, and it's a different presence up top. And then Kamara, after the show the other night on the old Discord chat, because obviously if you subscribe either through YouTube or on Ko-Fi, you can join the Discord group.
Details in the chat right now. Thank you very much.
There we go, on point. A couple of us were talking about potential incomings, and I just happened to mention, not that I'm claiming any ITK or anything like that, but happened to mention Kamara as someone that was surprised hadn't got a club, because he was linked to us at the beginning of the summer. It was obvious he was going to leave Plymouth. They couldn't agree a new deal. And like I say, I just happened to mention that I was surprised he hadn't found a club. And then early this afternoon, we get linked, and it all progressed well and progressed quickly. So a little bit last minute, but it sounds from the player interviews we've been working on these for the last couple of days.
There's been, obviously, as you say, it sounds like there's been some movement in the last couple of days, and finally two in the door. Which one, before I bring in our second contributor, which one for you at this point stands out, and why from the 2 you've brought in today?
Kamara for me.
Why Kamara? What about him? It makes him stand out as the player you're particularly excited about.
I think just the impact he had for Plymouth last year. Plymouth had a fantastic season. I'm not going to claim to have watched every game, but he was a player that always seemed to score highly in the kind of weekly ratings. A lot of other people far in the know about League One and EFL would wax lyrical about him. And having obviously seen bits and pieces, I saw the game at Portman Road. I think he played in that. And just sort of YouTube videos for what they're worth. He's just got that energy. And, I think there was always that concern, and people talked about it on last night's show or the night before, about legs in midfield. And if we got an injury to Sammy Morsey, well, we're covered. We're well stocked. And I put a tweet out earlier. I think a couple of other people have commented on sort of similar lines about, have we now got the strongest midfield League One has ever seen? I'd say, come forward and name a stronger League One midfield than ours. We've got
Lee Evans, Sam Morsey, Dominic Ball, and now Kamara. That is a strong 4. You can interchange. You can have a suspension to Sam Morsey now, which you're going to get at some point, of course. I'm tempted, and that will obviously go through the course of the show. I'm tempted to play Morsey and Kamara together and put Morsey back into the more enforcer role in the team. Kamara coming, because I think Kamara is a better player going forward. That's my temptation right now this evening. Can we achieve that at Town? Now, before we go any further, I will just drop the link so you can have your say. Of course, this is your platform to have your say live, so get involved. There is the link. But first of all, let me go ahead and bring in, you all know and love him. I'll play his intro. He is, of course, the Cruncher, Richard Moss.
You're talking utter fucking.
Wait for this, my friends. Hey! Full suit.
Good evening. Yeah, full suit. It's my old Ipswich Town tie, this is, Lewis, with the old badge on.
That's fantastic.
I have to give a shout out to Lewis because he's the one who prompted me with his yellow tie, and I went upstairs and hunted about, and I thought, I've got an Ipswich tie somewhere. And a shout out to Hawks, who's in the chat as well, because this has been doing the rounds on the socials for about the last month, Lewis.
Yeah, what time's your shift on Sky Sports News?
Well,
Are you staying in the deadline?
Maybe you're there for the last hour.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Corporate ITK says Shire Boy 84. I didn't think I'd have to have use for the corporate intro ever again,
Really?
so I didn't. I binned it off thinking he will never use that again. Ian Davis, here he is. Exactly. Here he is. Crunch, 2 in the door. Ahadme Camara.
Is that the old style you're using along the bottom there? With the when the comments come on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. We've gone back to the start, haven't you?
Different shows have different vibes, my friend. This is a different vibe.
Yeah, I'm happy. 2 signings. Did say to Matt Stannard, didn't we, when we were chatting at Burton after the game? I did like the look of Gas, as they call him, you know. Look, he played well that night, Martin. You probably watched the game. It's one of them ones where I said, do you remember when we signed Jonathan Walters from Chester? Yeah. And I went to that game in the FA Cup down there. And you know when you watch a game, you see a player and you think, he's quite handy. Yeah. I liked what I see. Look, they haven't signed him off the back of just one game because that would be really foolish. But look, I like what I see that day. He's strong, Martin. He's obviously got 5 goals and he's this season already. Yep. Jimmy Floyd, I was reading Jimmy Floyd's comments that it's what they do at Burton, you know, develop players and then sell them on. They said low 6 figures. So what are we thinking? About 100,000, 150?
Couple of 100,000. Nightmare says it looks like a pound lounge bouncer.
There you go.
Looks like no, but we need that up front. That physicality, that strength, that broadness. We need that. That's what he was against us at their place, Rich.
Yeah, look, he should have had a goal that night. He should have scored. He hit the bar early, and then he had the other one where Walton saved with his legs. But he was a pest. He was physical, and Edmondson and Wolfen and that night guys knew that they'd been in a real physical battle. So, and we did say, didn't we? That's probably what we miss, Lewis, up front. A bit of physicality. But he probably won't play every game, but he gives you them. Like I said before, Martin, it's the golf analogy. You've got these different clubs now in the bag. So Accrington Saturday, I'd expect him to. I don't think he'll start, but I'd expect him to be involved. You know, it's going to be physical up there. It's going to rain. It's going to be horrible up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll be involved, and it wouldn't surprise me if he come off the bench and he scored a goal.
Well, let's check in with our Burton fan, Edward Walker, and just get the lowdown on what he believes Ahadme will bring to the party, what sort of player he is. Edward, how are you? Welcome.
Evening, gents. Looking very nice.
Evening.
Just up well to the occasion.
On down the A14 and he's now at Ipswich. How are you feeling?
Gutted, truthfully. Partly because it leaves us with basically nothing else at the moment. So we're desperately waiting for this window, the last 2 hours we've got left, to add something in. I think I remember seeing the rumours circling around this morning and just thought, please no. Just anything else really in that moment after the start of the season he'd had. But it reminds me a bit of the final day of the January window, really, when we had Daniel Jebison on loan and the news broke on the morning of deadline day he's probably going to get recalled, and you just think it's just a matter of time, really, isn't it? And it's happened. Yeah, it's sad times for a Burton perspective, but without sounding like an arsehole, I'm not a Burton fan. So what does he bring to the party for Portman Road? Sorry. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. It's interesting with Gus then. He only joined Burton in the January window, actually. Got him in, signed permanently from Norwich City. And he'd been on loan at Portsmouth in the first half of the season and not really done much for them. So I think when he signed, there was a lot of Portsmouth fans who kind of said, not really much to bring with us here. And I think maybe for the first couple of months or so, we weren't quite sure what his game was. You looked at him and you felt he's maybe the kind of person who best needs a strike partner with him. He didn't look like a very dependable goal scorer. I'd probably say there was a decent bit of hold-up play and a decent bit of link-up play, but you looked at him and thought you need someone alongside him to be the main goal-getter, and then he'd be the one who kind of provides that support and that service as well. And then probably in the very last game of the season, and certainly at the start of this one, he's improved massively. His overall game's really improved. I mean, you guys were talking about it there. You will have seen it firsthand in that Ipswich game where he was excellent. If he'd had some better finishing, he probably would have nabbed a goal. I mean, Marcus Harness obviously decided at the end of the day, but he's taken that into the other games as well. Yeah, he's improved a lot, really. His all-round games had so much work on it, certainly, in the time. And I think now you see he's someone who really can operate really in the lone striker role if needs be. He can get the ball into himself. He can lay it off to others. I think there's still this little bit of tendency of him, and I noticed it last weekend when we played up down at Cambridge. He's still got this tendency, I think, sometimes to try and beat a man. It's sometimes a tendency to try and go round a man or put the ball through someone's legs rather than lay it off to a person. That was a little bit frustrating. But he'll get out of that. He's, 21, 22? Loads of time for growth for him yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We heard there that, he's strong, his hold-up plays. Are they his main attributes? I know there's a bit of an echo going on. Apologies about that for viewers. But is that those his main attributes? Is his strength and his hold-up play?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's never really struck me as him being as the cliche goes, a 20-goal-a-season striker. I don't think that's really his game. I think the main part of him is his hold-up play. It's quite unconventional, maybe how he controls the ball. It kind of just sort of seems to stick to him rather than sort of bounce off him in a way. But he's very comfortable now, I think, having pressure on his back, whether it's a man up against him as well. And he's very relentless out of possession as well. I mean, one of the goals he got at Cambridge at the weekend was a case of him just closing down the keeper, but thought the guy could clear it and he deflected into the net. So his fitness has massively improved as well, and he's a relentless presence up there for us.
Absolutely. I'm going to let you go because of the echo, but really appreciate you coming on the show to tell us exactly what sort of player we're getting. I hope you do stay up. I really do.
I hope so, mate. It's going to be easier said than done.
All the best.
We've all been there, Edward. Good luck, my friend.
Thanks, lads.
All the best. Sorry for the echo for those listening at home or listening on audio platforms. Apologies. Technical issues sometimes do happen. But you heard there, gentlemen, Ahadme, hold-up play, strength, target man, can operate as a one. I see this very much as a Ladapo understudy, a Ahadme Ladapo revolving sort of door with Caden Jackson coming off the bench to provide that different type of attribute, like Saturday, that pace, that in behind threatening. Am I right in thinking that, Rich? Is that how you see this signing?
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever, unless we're chasing a game, I'd be very surprised if you see him and Ladapo playing together, Martin, in a two. I can't really see that. And look, he's only 21. He's still learning. It was good to hear Ed there what he was saying, that he's massively improved. I see Hawks in the chat. It does to me, if I was a Burton fan, this reminds me of when Daryl Murphy went, right at the end of the window, and they've probably got they might have something lined up, maybe possibly like a loan signing, but let's hope it's not Leon Best.
Yeah, let's hope it's not Leon Best for that. Yeah, well, look, it's bad for Burton, of course it is. But it's great news for us, Lewis. It gives us another option. And I've often said throughout the summer, I don't want a 20-goal-a-season striker. I want the Moneyball system. If I've got Ladapo getting 12 and Ahadme getting 10 and Jackson getting 10, and people at home are going to scream and say you can't get 10. My nan did this morning when I said it. But that's how I feel Town are operating. They're wanting the goals spread around in a Moneyball approach.
Yeah, I agree. That's the approach we seem to be taking. I mean, 20, 25 goal a season players are few and far between, and there's been a lot of debate, hasn't there, on here about who we go for, who we sign, and they're difficult to get and they cost a lot of money. And I think what we've done is quite shrewd. I think as over the last couple of weeks, the way I've viewed it is we needed a different option in terms of not a striker looking to run into the channels. We've got that already. We need a physical presence who can pin centre-halves back, give them a tough time, like Edmondson and Wolf had, as Rich said, and create space and opportunities for others. And we have absolutely got the players backing him up in terms of Harness, Chaplin, hopefully, he'll be back soon. Aluko, hopefully he'll be back soon. It will create space and opportunity for other players to get in. But at times, what I felt last season and at the beginning of this season was we didn't have that presence in the box. And a lot of Ladapo's best work so far has been holding the ball up on the halfway line. And I said the other night, I want to see him a little bit further forward. I want to see him playing in and around the box. As Rich has said, all the goals he got for Rotherham was as a poacher. And we haven't yet seen that. Hopefully the other night will give him some confidence. I agree with Rich. I think we will probably start with Ladapo. I think it would be disappointing having got his goal the other night if Ladapo didn't get a chance on Saturday. But Ahadme is a really good option off the bench. And if you look at it, we've lost a 21-year-old striker today, and we may come on to him later. He hasn't played for us really. 7 games Tyrese Simpson played?
Yeah.
What we've done is we've replaced him with someone that wants to be here. We won't go into the dispute about contracts and things like that, but we have someone of a similar age, a similar build, who has played quite a few League One games now, which is something that Simpson hadn't. And we've got change to spare after the 2 deals, I would imagine, because like you said, I think we're probably looking at a couple of $100,000 tops, no more than that, maybe with some add-ons. So, it's a really good deal. And I think it gives us something different going forward. Yeah,
Rich, I see you nodding along there to what Lewis is saying.
I sent Lewis this morning a screenshot of Erling Haaland's goals. He scored 9 goals for Man City. I'm not in no shape or form am I comparing Gas or Freddie Ladapo to Erling Haaland, but I think the game on Saturday against Forest, he hardly touched the ball, Lewis, outside the penalty area. Now, you're saying about Ladapo there, a lot of his hold-up play, 30 yards, 40 yards from goal. Brilliant. He ain't going to score no goals there. If you're a defender, I know he's making room for the 210s, Martin. I get that.
Yeah.
But if you're a striker worth your salt, like Ladapo's goal the other night, it just bounced 10, 12 yards out. It was in the net. Now, this is where I want my striker to be in the penalty area, scoring goals. And look, I agree there. He won't get 20 goals. No one's going to get 20 goals for Town this season. They're going to be spread out, but I think he does give you that extra option. He gives you the option, Lewis, to go a bit longer, I think, sometimes. I think he's more physical than Ladapo, I think. But then if you do look at Ladapo and saying, look at his best work, was when he played with Michael Smith at Rotherham, big, tall, strong, physical player. Now, I don't think, Martin, that they'll play together. I'd be very surprised if Kieran now thinks, right, I've brought him in and I'm going to play him in a 2. I don't think he'll play like that. But we'll have to wait and see. But it gives you different options, and we do need it. Caden Jackson, I don't think he'll be much of a central striker. I don't think he's more of your 20, 25 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
But there you go. No, Owen, I did not say he's better than Haaland.
But he is right.
The thing is as well, in every single game this season, because of the 5 subs, we have changed the front 3. And so if you think about, only got to ask, keep going back to it, ask Fridge, ask Wolfie about that Burton game away. Imagine coming up against Ahadme for 60 minutes and then having the ability and the capacity to bring on someone like Ladapo's standard, or Tyrese John Jules, or whoever it may be. So, or vice versa. You've got Ladapo or Caden Jackson running in behind. It's going to wear defenders out, and then we're bringing on that physical presence of Ahadme. So it really does give us options, and I think it's something that we will see a lot of those front 3 players making way after about an hour. I'm not saying who it will necessarily be, but we've seen that, and even watching some of the Premier League games last night, because of that 5 sub rule, managers have flexibility now that they didn't have before to be able to make wholesale changes. And I actually think we'll see a change in the way footballers operate, because a lot of them now will probably only expect to play for an hour. So they're not saving reserves of energy for the 80th minute to be able to make those runs. They're probably already likely aware that they're going to play for an hour, give it everything they've got, and then they've got someone coming on. The great thing for us on paper, and nothing's won on paper, we've got a hell of a bench to whoever it may be to bring on as a replacement, whereas I think other teams don't have that luxury.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to bring the fisherman in to have his say on the striking options. Mike had me through the door. 21. He fits the profile.
Did you not get the memo, Mike? How to dress tonight?
Well, I thought I was coming to a bloody teachers' conference. You got the principal there, then you've got the sorry, Lewis, the schoolboy up the top there with his tie on. I thought, okay, who's in trouble? Who's getting detention?
I'll loosen it a bit for you, mate.
Oh, stop it! Look! I said on Twitter, how can any Town fan be negative tonight? Can we?
Well, no. I mean, last time you were positive, your internet broke on you because it was that surprised it thought it must have been a hacker. But you know, Ahadme, he's 21. He fits the profile that they're looking to bring in younger players that you can develop. He was a handful against Wolfie and Fridge or Burgess.
Yeah.
I forget who played that night. At Burton. That's all we can go on as Town fans. And he scored, you know, so far this year, what is it? 3 goals in 6 games, 4 starts. It's not bad.
I just think it just gives us more options. I think the thing is that, you know, I said at the end of last season, you know, and leading all this season, you know, there was quite a few chat. We all talk about it, and I said we need 7 or 8 players in, and I was getting no, we don't need that many. Well, we brought 9 in, and you know, with respect, you know, we've got. It's quite scary to see the squad that we've got this season. And we talked about last season. We were like sitting there going, "Oh, you know, look at this." But this season's it's a different gravy. We already had our foundation built. We already got a foundation with our defence and stuff, and then, you know, with the midfield as well. And now this year we've just brought in players of another ilk. And the thing is about it is players like we brought in today, they're League One, you know, they know the league, and we need that, like Rich said. I know he's not comparing to Haaland, but, you know, you need that physical strength in this league. You need that bit of shithousery with ability in this league. And look, at the end of the day is, you know, look, any manager coming to play up against Ipswich, you're going to be thinking, look, we've got to be on our best today, because otherwise they're just going to roll us over. And, you know, that is, again, another part of the puzzle, isn't it? The psychological part.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You put fear into the opposition before you've even kicked the ball, and that's half the game won. You know, you just got to, like I said, if we can just get more clear-cut chances. I mean, there's still not a lot, you know, not a lot happening. You know, shots on goal. You know, even off target. You know, I just feel that now. We said for a while, if we get a striker in, or look, I'll take these two more than these 2 players we've just signed. I'd take over Hurst, because I think you know Hurst is a quality player. He's not getting past that, and I wanted him here, and so did Cruncher and a few others. But the reality is, these 2 players give us extra. You know, so for less money, we've got two very good League One players with huge potential. So any Town fan right now, including myself, I'm absolutely buzzing. I was really hoping that we would get to, you know, a striker in or you know, players in to cover, because like I said, with Aluko and Chaplin injured at the moment, you know, there wasn't enough there. But now, I said we get one more into that. Look, it's ours to lose. I feel that right now we are the Man City of League One. You know, we have that much quality, and I think that if we don't take this opportunity, it'll be an absolute waste of a season. So look, we just got to be happy, haven't we? Let's be honest, we are. I mean, I'm just Yeah,
it's really hard not to be happy, Rich. To be fair,
I thought Mike had got wind, smiling so much.
That is, mate.
Eddie, hang on. You've been on here 5 minutes, Mike. Come on. Yeah. Tell everybody what you messaged me, because I can see that you want to tell everybody.
What was that? I can't remember.
What did you say? What did you say at the start of the season, in pre-season? What did you say? How many players did you say that we needed?
I said we needed 7 or 8 new players, and I was bang on the money.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
listen to the fisherman. We knows his onions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is it. The other thing I would say is, obviously, you know, Gabriel Sutton. We've had him on the platform before. He's a well-known EFL presenter, debate host, contributor. He says in regards to this transfer, Rich, I feel ITFC should only sign a striker if, this is his Twitter account, they bring something different to what's already there, or they're on another level to what's already there. Does Ahadme fit in the description? I'd probably say no. That's a man that knows his onions. What would you counter that with?
He had him on, and he didn't rate Marcus Harness, if you remember, that Saturday morning.
Possibly,
so,
yeah.
Look, it's all about opinions, mine. It's all about opinions.
Well, how would you counter that opinion? What from what you believe of the player?
Look, I've only seen him play once, but what I see, I was impressed. But at the end of the day now, no excuses. There's no excuses anymore. right? Mike says everyone's happy, and we are. Look, we're delighted tonight. We got two more players in, but we've got no excuses now not to get out of this division. If we're sitting here in May and we've failed, something's gone drastically wrong, Martin.
Yeah. Well, it's
We
easy
can't
to
be
say
thinking
that.
like Rich. Honestly, mate, not with the current squad and the current setup. We can't be thinking like that. Last year, like we don't.
I'm not thinking like it. I'm just saying we've got no excuses now, Mike. Not to
No,
get out.
I'm with Rich, Mike.
I'm being attacked by baby spiders here. I agree that look, we the end of the May, if we're not promoted, then yeah, it'd be a travesty. But I genuinely believe we will be promoted, and I think we'll do it automatically. I said we were one or two players short of automatic promotion, and I think we've done good business, and I think it's fantastic. These two players have come in at a time when we are maybe looking for something. Something a little bit different to bring off the bench. These players are going to be fighting for. We've got so many places to fight for.
Yeah.
Players to fight for different positions on the pitch and stuff. I think Jackson's probably down the pecking order now. I really genuinely do.
Well, he's got to compete for his place. I think he offers something completely different in his profile.
Yeah, he can run.
But we saw that Saturday. Well, perhaps you didn't, but we saw that Saturday, Mike, in the sense that when he came on, I love you. I sort of slipped my hand on a quick kick on the table. Sorry, mate. But no, we did see that Saturday where he brought that something different to the party, and he really tested the back two of Barnsley. Before I let you go, Mike, you say we can't think like that. Why can't fans think like that? It's the professional's job to keep it professional. It's the professional's job to keep it one game at a time. It's our job as fans to dream that our team will fly. And right now, I believe this team is ready to take soar and not look back.
Well, I said it. I believe we'll finish top two. I genuinely believe that. And I am critical. I am critical of players when I don't feel they're doing their job properly or they're not doing the basics right. No, but at the end of the day it's frustrating because I've lived through the glory years, and there's a lot of young town fans that haven't. And it's these youngsters that give me grief on Twitter and stuff, they've not lived through it. And for me, like I said the other night, I don't want us to win every game. I demand that we win every game. I don't want us to get out of this league. I demand we get out of this league, and that's the difference. Right now, we bloody have one hell of a strong squad. We really do, and we have to believe we can get out this year. And I have to believe myself that we are good enough, and we will get promoted. I'll be shocked if we're not champions. That's how confident I am now.
Love it. Shocked that we won't be champions. Mike, you know your stuff and you know your place, as Ian Davis just said. So well done. Look after yourself. Enjoy the night fishing.
Cheers, buddy.
Good man. We'll get some comments and we'll go to Neil Perks, who can give us some insight. Well, not insight, but some information on Kamara. He's seen him play a couple of times. Ashley Bell, we were saying all this time last year. I signed Selena and Morsey. The difference is we've got a class manager rather than a pub landlord. Mike D, good question, Rich. What do the school people to teach and the headmaster rate the window? We'll come to that later on in the show, Mike. I hope that dog is doing all right. Tree Frogs is loving the geography teacher look. You've nicked my gimmick from the FCAs, which, by the way, you can get us there again. Please vote for Talking Town Best EFL Podcast. Carl Brooks, undefeated in the league, and we've added quality like this to the squad. What a blooming day. Ian Davis, genuine competition for places with twos in the starting 11s. Surely this season, I want to know when Ian is going to, sort of step up, become a contributor on the Talking Town, the proper show, Rich.
He's great on the cricket show. Ian's a legend.
Yeah. I'll watch what I say.
He's a busy guy. He's a busy guy. He's playing cricket and he's coaching and he's here, there, and everywhere. But come on, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely.
When are you going to come on?
I'll watch what I'll say because Brandon's in the chat, and I don't want to, over egg Ian there. But Robert Wilson, maybe occasionally drop Ladapo in the number 10. Options is what McKenna has now. Let's see what McKenna does. Now, goals win you games, and games win you prizes, and prizes are what we all play for. But Kamara can also grab a goal. Neil Perks, our friend from the West Country, what type of player have we got for $500,000 from Plymouth?
Girls, I just want to say before I go into that, a day or so after I spoke to you, I've tested positive for COVID now, so I'm off work for a week. But I'm okay. I'm feeling better than I was. But yeah, I've been a bit rough. But yeah, I'm on the mend. Yeah, no, brilliant signings, those two there. Yeah, quite surprised that we got Kamara, but yeah, he's certainly a player they didn't want to lose. That's for certain.
No.
No way did they want to lose him.
I'm sorry you tested positive, but when you've seen Kamara or when you've read reports about Kamara, obviously from your part of the world, what's been the sort of, because obviously did he put in a transfer request? Am I right in thinking that?
I think they wanted him to sign. I've heard a few rumours, but there's two sides to a story. Some people seem to think that maybe he's a bit of a troublemaker as well, along the lines of sort of Ladapo. But I don't see our setup being one to sort of let that sort of thing go on anyway. So it's hard. I just don't think he wanted to sign on. They obviously wanted him to. He's injured at the minute, isn't he? So
yeah, how bad of an injury is that? Do we know anything on that one, Rich?
I know he's got a groin. He did ask for transfer, Neil, and then they obviously put him on the list and they activated their 12 months. Obviously, look, they wanted to get some money for him. So 500,000, I think it's probably rumoured what we've paid, which the Simpson transfers covered for that anyway. And look, I've spoken to a few Plymouth fans this afternoon. Not really a bad word to say about him on the pitch. They said he's a quality player, box-to-box midfielder, could play at high level. So there you go. Best midfield in League One. I do agree with you, Lewis. Definitely now.
Yeah. What's he going to bring for you, Lewis Kamara? What are you most? Because as I said at the start of the show, I would be tempted to play Morsey and Kamara together, and I think that is the best two that we've now got. Lee Evans, I apologise, but that's the way it goes, my friend. How are you seeing the midfield options?
So what you're saying, if fit, you play Kamara on Saturday with Morsey?
Well, he's got a groin, so if he's fit, yes. Well, not
Ashley
Saturday.
Bell.
As Saturday
Ashley
comes
Bell
in.
there, Lewis, very, very interesting comment about Plymouth fans seem to think he's not as injured as maybe reported. Now, that wouldn't surprise me, Martin, because obviously he wanted away.
Well, we don't know. What we do know is that he's got a groin, whether that's a slight niggle, a major niggle, whatever it might be. It's passed the medical today. That we do know. He has passed a medical. So the football club obviously viewed it as not anything substantial enough to pull the plug. I wouldn't play him Saturday. That's too early. But long term, certainly they are my midfield too.
But it comes down to what we've been saying. Nice horses for courses, isn't it? So there'll be some games that suit the energy of Kamara alongside Morsey. For other games where we possibly have more possession, you need a Lee Evans. I wouldn't be dropping Lee Evans at the moment.
No,
I'd keep Evans and Morsey. Lee Evans, for me, has had a really good start to the season. People were doubting him at the end of the season because he'd had a couple of injuries, doubting his fitness, which I do completely understand. But he's come back and he's looked good. And, this is what we need. We need strength in depth, and we need people to have to fight for their place. So possibly for me, Kamara starts on the bench. Now, does he finish the season as a regular on the bench? Probably not. I think he will work his way into the team. But I think the way that we set up under McKenna is very much a different team, a different style, depending on the nature of the game. And that's the good thing about McKenna is his flexibility, and that's something we didn't have under Cook. Cook would be very, very rigid, and you'd almost know what the starting 11 was going to be. Whereas we could have any midfield and it will still look strong. Some people have said about Kamara being able to play further forward. Now, if Chaplin and Aluko are both quite badly injured, that could be another option in that you don't need to necessarily change Sam Morsey's role, because Sam Morsey's playing really well at the moment. I think we'd all agree on that. Yeah. So you could still continue to keep Evans and Morsey and possibly play, I don't know, Kamara and Harness behind a striker. That would give you something very, very different to what we have in terms of, Phil Chaplin's qualities and Aluko's qualities. Would we necessarily have that powerful runner coming from the 10 role? I know there's something Cook tried to do with Raheem Harper, wasn't it?
It was,
it's options. But for me, I think Kamara is going to have to come in. He's going to have to fight for his place, because if we just take Lee Evans out of the team, what does that say? That,
that I spent £500,000 on a player that...
It's a long season.
It says I spent £500,000 on a player that arguably many people were expecting to go to a championship club at some point. Neil, he's almost another player we've bought that comes with that tag of wow, he's playing League One still. I expected him to go up a level.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think. Well, my best mate messaged me today. I sort of knew it was on the cards, and he was a bit disappointed. I think it's a real snip. £500,000 for him is quite a snip, really. I mean, I seem to think that he might have followed Ryan Lowe, to Preston. That's what it seemed like he might do at the time. Yeah, but I mean, it was quite funny. I think slightly different, but I think he is a bit like Morsey. I mean, when I watched them play, when I went to Home Park last year, it was really funny because those two were just at one another all match. They were, those two, literally at one another all the time, snapping in, falling out. Kamara was getting upset with Morsey, vice versa. They're quite a similar sort of player, I think. He gives you lots of energy, Kamara, very box to box. He's got some goals in him, but he is a bit like Morsey. I'd say he certainly is. He's a bit like Morsey, yeah, definitely.
Rich, you've often said to me, I wonder if they're going to play a three: Disco Dom, Lee Evans, Sam Morsey, and I've always turned my nose up. I've always gone, oh, that's a bit of a workman's midfield, to put it in a polite way. However, now if you told me how about midfield three of Morsey, Kamara, and Evans, well, I get a little bit excited because that sounds quite good.
Yeah, I think another thing. So Wazza in the chat there. I was chatting to him today on Twitter. He lives down the West Country, and he's seen him play quite a lot for Plymouth. It shows now. Listen, we can play some good football, Martin. We ain't going to be a soft touch anymore. So these players coming in, Gas, we signed, big unit. He can muscle some people. He showed up when we played at Burton.
Absolutely.
Kamara's no shrinking violet. When we go to these places, guys like Accrington and on Saturday, we've got players now who can stand up, Martin, and we ain't going to be bullied. We can play the football, but if we need to mix it and turn it into a bit of a battle, you got Dom Ball on the bench. He don't mind getting stuck in, does he? Getting his foot in.
Dom.
So
Keogh.
Exactly. We've
another
got. I'd say we've got every base covered now, guys. You're going to get some injuries, and I see Stephen Parry in there about taking Morsey out now and again. No chance. Sam Morsey plays every single week. You're not resting your captain. He's one of the.
But can you now bring him off? Can you now bring him off at 70 minutes where you're in a game and winning, or even a tight game? Have you not got the quality where you can bring it? You can bring him off.
You're not taking your captain off. No chance. No way. Sam Morsey, if fit, if you're winning 4 or 5-0, yeah, I get that. If it's a tight game, Martin, why would you take your captain off?
Yeah,
when it's a best player.
He's McKenna's man. He's McKenna's voice on the pitch and Martin Pert's voice on the pitch. And he sets and demands standards. And I'm not saying that necessarily other people don't sort of demand the same standards, but the players look to him. And even if we were 3-0 up, I wouldn't be comfortable taking Morsey off for the sake of it. He's our general. He's us, and he's McKenna on the pitch. So I think, yes, what we've all agreed is we've got strength in depth now and we can change it up. But I think there's certain players that are nailed on. They have to play if fit and available. And he's one.
Okay, absolutely. Love it. Carl Brooks, if anything, Kamara allows us a bit more freedom. If Morsey goes, he can sit. If Kamara goes, Morsey can sit. Won't be predictable in the middle. Uzil, Morsey wanted to play with his injury near the end of last season. Doubt he would want to come off or be rested.
You try to say Morsey, you're coming off the pitch.
Yeah, not a chance. Not happening. It's not happening.
I do get Stephen Parry says if he's on a yellow, but it all depends what time of the game it is,
Yeah, but I get what Lewis is saying. He's the heart and the soul. He's the McKenna on the pitch. Beautifully put. Love it. Get it. But you equally have to look after those important players. You can't run them into the ground. You have to look after them. And this gives us an opportunity now, Neil, before I let you go and bring in somebody else, Ahadme over Haaland, to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what Rich said earlier, that, if it's come May and we're not in the top two, I totally agree with him. Something's sadly gone wrong, because for me, we got the best squad in League One. I mean, I would have said it before we even signed these two today. I still would have said we had the best squad in League One probably, but with these guys, something's sadly wrong. If we can, I think it's got to be top two this season. No excuses. Got to be top two. Got to be.
Love it, Neil. Appreciate you.
I just want to say one last thing. I've talked to Matt Stannard today. Had a little chat with Colin as well. They're going to try and see if they can help me a bit. So obviously it's a 4.5 hour drive. But I'm going to try to get up for either the Derby County or the Peterborough game. They were the only ones I really fancied, to be honest, to come up this year. So I'm going to try to get up to one of those. Colin said he might help me out because I've got a new partner now, Gov, as well.
Well, look at this. Congratulations.
Do you catch COVID off them?
She's not into football whatsoever, but she said she might well come up with me and stuff because don't really want to travel on my own. It's a fair way, so I think she might well come up with me. So
you can show her the
I might try and get her along.
You know,
Hey?
you can show her the delights of Ipswich, can't you?
I said, well, she's not into football, but I said I'd lend her one of my shirts and I'll just wear my new away one anyway.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Neil,
you're a man.
Hopefully one of those.
You're a man that's riding that crest of a wave.
No funny business, Neil. If you stay around Colin's house, more good hearing, you know.
Colin don't miss anything, does he? Colin don't miss anything.
Mould and Blue doesn't like football. Dumper. Mould and Blue. Give him the advice. Don't take his advice. Neil, look after yourself, all right? Get healthy, stay healthy, and we'll speak soon.
Take care.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
God bless. Absolutely love it. Ahadme over Haaland. Haaland who? Here he is. Look at this. Haaland who? Owen, how are you, my man?
Very good. Look at God. Doesn't he look handsome tonight, old Crunch? God, I'll be talking about this on Twitter, I tell you.
Oh,
you're making me blush.
He certainly will. ITK status going through the roof.
15% now.
15%. If that was a mobile phone, I'd take it off charge. That's how reliable I think it would be.
I'll have you know, he's right.
If you got fucking 5.
He's right 100% of the time, 15% of the time.
Absolutely. If a broken clock is wrong, is right twice in a 24. Yeah, I'm using that one again, son. Don't worry. We'll keep on it. So you've got obviously what Crunchy just said there. Ahadme is better than Haaland. You heard it right at home. Crunchy said Ahadme is better than Haaland. Exactly. No one here said I was wrong. So evidently,
we all agree. Ahadme's better than Haaland. There you go.
If I'm lying, I'm flying, and my feet ain't even left the ground. Owen, you've got 2 players in the door today. You've got a window to look at. Talk me through it, big man. You're obviously a Town fan. Very happy this evening.
What a window! What more can you ask for? You know, we had the powder keg of craziness last summer under Cook and our wonderful Mr. Ashton, who is a fine man, wonderful man. Slightly better than Clegg, maybe. But
that's not hard, mate. That's not hard.
But he's painted the turnstiles. They look a bit better, don't they? So that's something.
Got new doors. Got new doors.
Got pen as well.
New Dulux paint. Do you know what? Fabulous window. I think what needed eking, because we had a good side coming into the end of last season. Things were looking better. What do we got now? I mean, we've got 2 very good left backs. We've got
we did have one last year. Let's be honest.
Stephen Ward left the year before. I don't know what you're on about.
You can get a Walsall shirt. You can have a Walsall shirt hanging up there.
Yeah, you can get them for $5. Beautiful stuff. And what a deadline day. Do you know what? How weird is it? So, you know, like usually every year on a certain site, I won't mention, we're expecting a quiet deadline day today. And how times have changed. We're linked with 2 very good players, very good at this level. One who was the best holding midfielder in the league last season, in my opinion, closely ran by a certain Mr. Morsey. And then a striker who, for me, Burton shouldn't have lost against us earlier in the season because Ahadme should have scored. And if he had a bit more in terms of coming from out wide, you know, maybe if Burton had a decent number 10, he would have scored because more would have been created. Well, what has he got now? Fantastic wing backs, exciting support strikers, cams. I hate when people say that, but what can you do? Goals are there. Goals are coming. Ladapo scored. All's well. 6 past the mighty Northampton. Ain't no stopping us now.
Can you put Michael Finch's comment up? Can you put Michael Finch's comment up?
James Norwood has put on some timber. I think he's calling you James Norwood there, Owen.
I can do a people's elbow and knock myself out in bed for a few weeks. Yeah, I can do that.
Hang on, wait. Did we see the most Ipswich Town game of all this week, where James Norwood gets himself sent off, and then Teddy Bishop scores twice?
He got 2. He's got 4 in 2 games.
What parallel world am I living in? Where
sign him up, January signing, Teddy Bishop, 800 grand. There you go.
No,
get the tweets going, Cruncher. Get that percentage up.
God, no, don't.
I did see actually someone sort of said we should go for Teddy Bishop, and I thought, fucking hell, are you joking?
Max Pitchford, always love the amount of regional accents on this show. As a Brummie, it's very refreshing. We're worldwide, and we try and bring all town fans from all parts of the universe.
They do say, Gov, that you are Suffolk's Mr. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. So I understand.
Mr. 305, my friend, Mr. Worldwide. Yeah, absolutely.
Where is Miss Worldwide? We need her back on the platform, Kate Riley.
I don't know.
You need Kate. Get her back on.
Matt, procrastinating Womble question. So, do all think this is it? No surprises. Well, because they've kind of tweeted that is it, over and out. Is this it? Is this it? Do you think?
Well, what do they say? You can never trust a WWE lineup, and you can never trust an Ipswich Twitter account. So maybe the return of the forgotten son himself, Macaulay Bonne at 5-11, that none of us really want. But there you go. Maybe he'll come over the line as well, because no one wants to sign him. Oh, bless him.
Absolutely. Lewis, Ian Davis here. Deadline day used to be crap, but the expectation never fulfilled was always there. Now we add strength and depth. Injuries and suspensions won't be an issue. I mean, we've often as town fans sat here that deadline day sort of thinking, what's the point? This is like, it's the worst New Year's Eve party in the world, and I'm sat here on my own talking to nobody. Suddenly we're part of the party again. We're actually in the middle of it, pouring the drinks, Lewis.
It's good fun. Mark Ashton absolutely loves it, doesn't he? Loves the deal. Proved that last year. He knew what he was doing. And, fair play to him. Do you know what? The other day, I wouldn't have said I had a wobble, but I was starting to, I wasn't that infused by the names linked and had a few questions, and in the back of my mind, I thought, no, hang on a sec, trust what's gone previously. In terms of last year, they were good to their word. They've been good to their word at other times, and it's fun and it's enjoyable, and also with this today, this time yesterday, we weren't linking those 2 players directly with us.
No.
Ahadme came kind of first thing this morning, and then Kamara early afternoon. So. It's all been kept under wraps, and it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it's all been kept under wraps. It's worked out pretty well. You said, Cruncher, and I've got a question here from Richard Chandler. Cruncher said Ashton would get an F if we don't get any in. If we've not done great business, what do you rate it now as a summer's business?
Are we not going to do that at the end of the show?
Well, we're coming towards the end of the show, really. I mean,
we must have more people on. Macaulay Bonne, by the way, Hock spoke to him this afternoon on Instagram. He's not going to Bolton. He was still in his house in Ipswich. Didn't think he's going anywhere. So there you go. Ashton, I will give him. Listen, he's given McKenna all the tools now that he needs. We've got all these different clubs in the bag, Martin. We go to these different grounds. We can pull out a driver if we need one. Edge. We got them all. I'll give him a B. B+.
What would have made it a better window from your perspective then?
If he'd have signed Selena.
I think he gets an added bonus for not signing Selena. Whereas Lewis is like...
I didn't mic up. I'm just waiting for him to buy in the chat with that. Matt Penny, if he'd have stayed, what would you give him, Lewis?
If we kept him, A, star. No. Funny enough, though, played last night. They won 4-0, set up an own goal.
Who'd they play?
Inverness, Caledonian Thistle in the cup, and now they got Celtic in the next round. So there we go. I would rate the window at, I think before today, I would have said a C+. Today, B+. Really good window. Okay. It's hard to criticise, and I think it's been said, you know, we have strengthened in every department, and we've added a physical presence, athleticism, leadership, vocal players, and also, and this was, someone raised this on Twitter earlier, a lot of the fans of the clubs we've signed these players from have commented on what decent people they are as well. And I think that's important as well. And that buys in, you know, myself and Rich and others attended the end of season awards and met some of the players, and they all came across as just good guys. And from what we've heard about most of the other signings, they fit into that group. And I think that's vitally important as well. And I think Mark Ashton, Kieran McKenna, the whole recruitment department all look at the type of character as well. So, yeah, really positive, B+. You know, time will tell on some.
Okay. Owen, yourself, how have you rated the window?
Leon Best. Think about players like that we used to have. Traore on the wing. Think about that. When we were a championship team being told we were aiming for top 6. No. They can have an A for me. They can have an A. Do you know what? Ashton for A. A for Ashton. Why not? Because at the end of the day, we've been fucking diabolical for years. And yes, sadly, we've had to drop down to League One. And so it's not great. And we have to go to Accrington away again. And it's a horrible stand. And it'll probably piss it down all day. But it don't matter, because look at us now. Look at us now. We're going up.
Look at us now. We're going up. I'm going to clip that for your intro, my man, because you're back on the 8th of September. Looking forward to joining the ranks. Enjoy the beer. What are we drinking?
Beaver Town.
Beautiful. Lovely. All right. Enjoy that beer and up a town.
Aye. Cheers, lads. Crunchy, looking beautiful.
Tyson Fury's let himself go a bit, folks.
How we laugh.
He'll fit in well, this guy. I like him.
He certainly will. All the best, Owen. We appreciate it.
Don't put it on Twitter that I said he's better than Haaland.
Oh, it's already on there. Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, Vine, all of it.
MySpace. Look at that. MySpace. We did Tom dirty, didn't we, from MySpace?
He's good.
Owen's great. Owen is absolutely top notch. Really top notch. So, A, B+ from Lewis, B+ from Rich, and A from Owen. I'm feeling the positivity coming through the screen. I like it a lot. I just want to try and grab up some of Kamara's stats from obviously last year.
Mark Ashton, Martin. I know you're the host, but come on.
I know. I've got to think about that a little bit for a moment. But what I do, Kamara last year, 36 starts, 4 goals, 6 assists. Is that not the same number of assists as Selena got in the whole year as well last year? 6 assists. Yeah. So suddenly I'm not I'm not with you there on the if he'd signed Selena.
Can you give Michael Finch a shout out? So he's doing a walk for prostate cancer, right? He's got a Just Giving link, and no one's donated.
What?
Right? So, yeah, he's looking to raise £500. So if you drop it on Twitter, you'd link Michael. I'll share it, and let's get some money. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a shame he's not a YouTube member or a Ko-Fi, because he could have put it on the Discord and he would have had loads. I'm absolutely sure of it.
For $4.99, you could be a
be what you like for $4.99.
Speculate to accumulate.
Absolutely. 292 people watching us live. Hit that like button. Please do help the platform in doing so. Rax Max from Down Under. The window's been great. Now we are shopping in daylight instead of in the past when shopping at night. Forget shopping in the night. We were fucking trying to go through the back window from the bathroom.
You all remember that picture, don't we? Cornell, Hawkins, Ward at the training ground, Martin. Look where we are now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at Kamara's stats and I'm thinking, this is a really decent pickup. 1.4 key passes, 6 big chances created, 6 assists, 4 goals. You know, this is a player that's really going to just bring so much quality to a midfield that's already packed full of quality at 25, Lewis. He's starting to enter that traditional peak prowess, really, where he's between now and 30. This should be the prime of his playing.
And look at, recent history in terms of the sorts of players we've signed that kicked on. Look at Wes Burns. He came in similar age and he's performed probably above expectation. And we are building a squad, not only a squad that's good enough for League One, but a squad where we wouldn't have to make too many changes were we to reach the Championship. We've got a foundation to then add even further quality. But as people have said, we've got to do it on the pitch. The one thing I'd say about a lot of these stats for a lot of these players, I'd be interested to know what percentage possession Plymouth had last year. To me, they seemed a bit more of a counter team. Whereas the stats so far for us in possession, we're having more possession than anyone we face. So all of these players naturally are going to get more touches of the ball. So therefore, potentially should have more opportunity to create and get more assists and get more key passes and get into certain areas of the pitch that maybe they weren't able to because they were playing for teams who weren't able to dominate like we can and like we've shown so far.
Good point, Rich.
LG was in the chat last night, wasn't he? When he's quite critical. He's having a go here, look, about the record signing. Looking forward to grilling Ashton. Why? What are you grilling him about? Look, I said I was a little bit sceptical, Lewis, before we made these two signings. The pressure was on Ashton. Look, he's delivered 2 signings today. It's now up to the manager and the coaching staff, right? They've got the tools until January. We might make some more additions in January.
Probably won't.
They've got everything they wanted. So I can't see why you want to be grilling Mark Ashton. We're sitting top of the league at the minute. We just won 6-0 in the week. Sometimes I do sort of scratch my head and think, just remember where we were under Marcus Evans, LG. Remember where we were. The ground was falling apart.
Is there but that's all well and good. The fact that the ground is great if the team is great. If the ground is great and the team are crap, then well, give me a crap ground and a great team. But I'm with you. I'm looking at the squad and I'm thinking, what area of the pitch are we weak in, Lewis? Where if you get an injury or a suspension or dip of form, where are you weak?
Struggling. Sorry,
exactly.
That wasn't a pause for any other reason. I'm going through the team and the personnel, and look what the other night against Northampton showed as well. I didn't go to the game. I'll be honest. I know a lot of people did who are in the chat, but I didn't go.
Boycotted it.
Partly because I wouldn't say boycotted, but we were all at the Colchester game, and it was disappointing because I came away feeling that there were certain players who didn't take their opportunity. They didn't say in that Colchester game, pick me, take someone out of the 11 from the previous Saturday and put me in ahead of the following game. I'm not saying there'll be lots of changes after the Northampton game, but players have come in and played well the other night. And I've been really impressed with players like KVY, who has filled in well at right wing back when needed. Their strength across every area of the pitch is really difficult to answer. I can't think of anyone. I'm happy, and like Rich alluded to, we've exchanged messages over the last couple of days of, okay, we suspect something's going to happen, but there were certain names that came out that were quite underwhelming. I think myself and you also, Martin, had said the same. I don't feel like that tonight. I feel optimistic, and I think I can gauge from the chat and people that have been on, there's optimism, and that's a really good thing, and that's something that we need, and that will reflect on the pitch as well. I imagine next Saturday, probably, away, yes, but next Saturday when we're at home to Cambridge, there'll be a real vibrancy. It won't be that kind of, oh, we haven't signed anyone or we're not happy with the signings. And that's going to help the team on the pitch as well. So all positive from me. And it's really good to be on here to have that positivity, because there's plenty of times when been on or, been in the chat and there has been things that we've been able to criticise. I find it very difficult to be able to criticise the window.
I'm looking through some of the reserves, Rich. You got Haladki, Golden Glove winner at League 2 level. Good reserve goalkeeper at this level of football. KVY, who 2 years ago on the podcast, Matt was saying would get double figures. Great player. Injuries have hurt him, but he's still an adequate player at League One level. You've got Burgess. Greg Lee, one of the best left backs in League One last year, statistically, is a reserve player. Is a fantastic player at League One level. The midfield options we've gone through. The only area that I'm sitting here tonight at 8 minutes past 9, where if I'm Mark Ashton, if I'm Kieran McKenna, am I entirely happy with my forward three behind my strikers now with Aluko and Chaplin? I don't know the severity. Obviously, they may well do, but am I happy with a raw TJJ? Am I happy with Wes Burns and the Wales question mark hanging over us? Am I happy with what I've got there, or would I just like to maybe pick that phone up and see if I can work one more bit of magic and bring somebody in across those areas?
This is where I said Selena would have fitted in for me, Martin. I think he did underperform last season, but I think he would have brought that little bit of X factor. He didn't come in, so there's no real point in talking about it. Lee Anderson in the chat there said about the Pizza Cup. We should win this, Martin. We should do the league and cup double this season. We should. I said on Tuesday's show, Lewis, that all the teams that get promoted normally out of this division either win that or get to the final, because you've got good squads. Now, a lot of these are not going to play every single week, Martin. So when they do have the opportunity in the cup games, like the other night, they have to come in and they have to grasp that nettle and they have to show the manager. It might only be Northampton. It's Arsenal under-21s next time. We have to have the same mentality when we play that game that we had the other night. Win that game with the winning mentality. You got to win games, train properly every single day. And that's another thing that we don't see that's important. You have to keep them standards up when you go and train in mind. Don't let it slip, because McKenna's watching, Martin Pert's watching. If you're off it a little bit, there's someone's going to come in and take your place. You've got to be at it all of the time.
You have
time.
Yeah,
Look
absolutely.
Well.
Sega Zombie, I think we have now got a team that's adaptable and now have a plan B with Kamara signing with 3 in midfield and dropping a number 10. And that trophy signing would have been Hurst or Selena. Ashton is CEO and responsible for the success of the club on and off the pitch. League position until now has been poor, says LG. LG, you're well entitled to your opinion. And as I always say on this platform, we respect the opinions. We attack the opinion, not the person. So I love it. You're bringing that to the party. It's a different view. It's a different opinion. And you're more than welcome here with it. Keep posting. Simo, think Jackson will be under pressure now and needs to reform when gets his chance or risk slipping down the pecking order. And Matt Stanley, and you turned down my offer of a free ticket to the Arsenal under-21 game, Cruncher.
Yeah, he did. He offered to buy me a ticket. I said I'll stay at home and watch it.
Bless you. John
If
Warren.
it was a proper team, if you want to buy me Cambridge ticket, Matt, feel free.
Yeah.
I'll be going to that.
Procrastinating Womble. I was in town for promotion to Premier League. The whole town was lifted. So in a way, happy fans and a happy Suffolk. What team shirt is that behind you? It's Motherwell, Jeremy. He answered it as he wrote it. Look. What team shirt is that behind you? Is it Motherwell? Yes, Jeremy. It's Motherwell behind Lewis for his dearly departed.
She's very well, thank you.
Yeah. Don't be nicking the host's jokes. That's not on. You can continue the conversation on our Discord. Live voice chat is now open.
Get in. We're going on Discord.
It will be.
This is out. She won't know that I'm on there. I'll quickly. If I disappear, it's because she's come home.
They won't know because they can't see you. They can just hear you.
I was in trouble the other night because I said I was going to go on after the Pizza Cup.
Yeah.
You've just been on there for 45 minutes.
Oh, bless you. But before we do, we've got joining us now. We've got super. Oh, fuck. We had Colin, but he's just disappeared from my screen.
He'll be back.
Hopefully, we'll be back. We have got Away Day guys coming up in just a moment with Amy Downs and myself. We'll look at Accrington.
I've got some of this coming tomorrow, Lewis. Coming in the post.
Mine arrived today.
There you go. Don't forget, live tomorrow, 8:30 for the official start of the Talking Town Away Day weekender. Away Day Beers weekender, should I say. Last word, Craig Priest. With these signings, we have a squad that can play the top to the park and go toe-to-toe with the shithousery teams. I haven't felt this good since our first season in the Premier League. Join the conversation on Discord, and it is a conversation, it's not a video. Become a YouTube member or a Ko-Fi Fist banner today, and you can get access to it. I'm sure Cruncher is going to bust open the after show party. But I'll leave the last word to both of you. One word to sum up the window. You've given it a rating, but one word to sum up the window. Richard Moss.
Orgasmic.
Okay. Lewis.
Penniless.
Ipswich Buses, your local bus company. Don't get stuck in traffic. Ditch the car. Go green. Go contactless. Go Ipswich Buses. Fares available from £2.20 return, a fantastic price and a fantastic service. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.